We're going to spend some time now talking about a new film that comes out on Friday at cinemas throughout the UK. The film is called Journey to Bethlehem, and it's a retelling of the story of Mary and Joseph and the birth of Jesus. It's a live-action musical which weaves classic Christian melodies with humour, faith, and some brand new pop songs. The film is directed by Adam Anders. He's a music producer who has worked on some major films such as High School Musical, Rock of Ages, and the TV series Glee. I'm delighted to say Adam joins me now. Adam, first of all, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, James. Great to be here.
We're talking just before this film is released in the UK. What does this time feel like for you? Do you get apprehensive before a film comes out, or is it an exciting time for you?
Both. I think it's all the above. You know, you put so much work into something. I had this idea 17 years ago. So I've been trying to make this for so long. And then pretty much the last 3 years, it's all I've been doing. So it all culminates in this one day when it comes out. And it's a very strange feeling that's hard to express how many emotions you're feeling. And but it's also very exciting and very rewarding that we accomplished what we set out to do.
You mentioned that you had the idea for this 17 years ago. So why were you keen to revisit the really famous story that we hear in churches every Christmas?
You know, I was just visiting my wife's family at Christmas time, and I couldn't find a musical that told the story of Christmas. I was like, well, why has anyone done that? It just seemed so obvious to me anyway, as a music guy, as a songwriter, producer. Back then, all I did was write songs and produce songs. So I just kind of got this idea and I couldn't let go of it, you know, and as a creative, you have ideas all the time that come and go. Some work, some don't. This one just literally got tattooed on my heart and I could not let go of it. So all these years have gone by and I've had, like, as you mentioned, had the opportunity to do so many great things in the business and work with incredibly talented filmmakers. And I think I just had to learn how to make movies. If I'd made this 17 years ago, it would have been terrible. Honestly, it would have been a bad movie. So I had to go learn how to make movies, but the dream was still there. And when COVID hit, I had nothing else to do. I sat down and I finally wrote this version of the movie. And then everything just took off and it's very exciting now.
Please correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is your directing debut as well. So as well as producing the story that's been on your heart for 17 years, you've also had to teach yourself the whole process from beginning to end. Has that been a challenge?
Well, thankfully, I've done so many movies over the years, so I've learned a lot. And the only thing I hadn't done was direct to get in that chair. And I resisted it because I know how much work it is because I've seen other people do it. And I'm like, I can do nothing else if I decide to do this. But I love this story so much. When I finished the script in 2020, I was like, I can't let anyone touch this. I have to do this, see it through the end. And, you know, there's so many beautiful, colorful family movies about Christmas, but it's always Santa or elves. And I'm like, why can't we tell the greatest story ever told, the reason we actually celebrate Christmas, in that same way, with song, with dance, with color, with magic, and just, you know, engage the whole family and especially kids, you know, in this way. And so that was really what I wanted to do for my family, you know, and for my kids. So I made it for them and hopefully for you and your family too.
I've really enjoyed it. I saw it over the weekend and absolutely loved it. In fact, one of the songs has been in my head pretty much on repeat since I watched the film. The song that Mary and her friends sing as she's preparing to get married has been stuck well and truly in my head.
I apologize for that.
It's absolutely fine. What's it been like for you to release a film with some major Christian themes straight into the secular marketplace?
Yeah, you know, I made this movie for everyone. I didn't make it for Christians. You know, we all celebrate Christmas, whether you know why you do or don't. We do. Most people celebrate Christmas. And so I think there's there's an appetite for something like this. You know, you love Christmas, you love music, you love Christmas songs. This movie is done in a way where it really is digestible for everyone. Obviously, it'll mean something different to Christians than it will to non-Christians, but I think they will still love it. They'll still enjoy it. You know, the music is so captivating and the performances are so great. We have amazing actors in it. It's so colorful and fun and funny. You know, kids have to laugh. If you're going to have a family movie, you have to laugh. And we have really every emotion in the movie. And so I've really, honestly, it's been so well received by everyone. And I was really surprised. Mainstream critics, like all the big, scary critics out there have loved the movie. And I expected them to tear me to shreds because it's a Christian story, but they haven't. They love the movie. So it's been extremely rewarding, actually, to be able to release it into the world and get the response we have.
So here we are. It comes out this week. I'm sure people are excited about watching it. What would you like to be the conversations that it kickstarts?
For one, I just want people to feel joy from the movie, frankly, and Christmas should be about joy. And sadly, it's not for everyone. It's a tough time of year and it's a tough time in the world. So I kind of would love for this movie to be a bit of a bright light in this kind of dark time. And so if I give people a sense of joy after watching this, I've accomplished something. But also, I want people to actually know what Christmas is about. I think that's just really important to me. So kids go, oh, that's what we're celebrating, and I think that's a good thing. It's good to know why we celebrate Christmas and why there's Christ in that word. So really, that's it. I mean, it's just meant to honestly make you feel better than you did before you watch the movie. If we accomplish that, it's a home run.
I'd love
Can
to
I say home run?
You can indeed. I think most of us understand what a home run is.
Okay,
I think we'll go with that.
It's a wicket.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'd like to ask just a little bit more about what you've said there about how it's been on your heart and how you're desperate to introduce people to the real story of Christmas. What's your faith story? How is this something that you're so passionate about?
I grew up in my parents were in the ministry. They were ministers, and I grew up, it was a music ministry, and we traveled the world and did missions. And so I grew up in church. I grew up seeing my parents live out their faith, and that gave me a very strong foundation of faith as well. And, I've always worked in Hollywood, and but I've always, everybody knows I'm a Christian, and I work there and I do my thing. And my faith has sustained me, honestly, through a lot of hard times in my life. And so to be able to tell one of the stories of my faith, about my faith, is really important to me. And it's probably the most personal movie I'll ever make. Frankly, I've made a lot of shows and movies in my career, and nothing has ever been as personal as this. For me, Christmas means a lot more than just giving gifts and presents. It really is a time to reflect and to be grateful for the faith that I do have and why I have it.
Well, I am very grateful that you've agreed to be with us on the program today. One final question, if I may, because as I watched the film, I started to think, are there other Christian stories that could be turned into a musical? I don't know, Moses or Noah. Are there any others that you'd like to revisit?
There are several. Frankly, there's so many wonderful stories in the Bible that I would love to tell in this way. For Esther, it's a wonderful story. David was a musician. He wrote all the Psalms and the songs, and he started as a musician for King Saul, playing harp. So there's a lot of things that lend themselves to musical, but it's a big undertaking. This took 17 years. So by that account, I'll be able to make one more movie in my life. So I've got to choose wisely.
Well, Adam Anders, it has been an absolute privilege to talk to you today. I hope it all goes well. I'm looking forward to going to see it with my family next week. It comes out on Friday, the 17th. Do watch it if you can. Adam Anders, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me, James.